The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
See that cute little dog in the pet store window? Chances are it came from a puppy mill. A breeding facility that forces caged, neglected, and often sick dogs to churn out puppy after puppy to be sold for profit. Meanwhile, millions of wonderful, healthy pets end up in animal shelters. This leads to the killing of more than 9,000 by the end of today. But with one simple choice, you can help. Just by deciding to adopt instead of purchase your next pet. Animal shelters are full of amazing pets looking for a home. When you adopt your new best friend, not only are you saving a life, you're taking a stand against puppy mills. When your friends see the smart choice and impact you've made, they adopt their next pet and share with 5 of their friends, who share with 5 more. Before long, thousands get involved. Pet stores stop selling dogs from puppy mills, and even more lives are saved. And with your help, we can save them all. Visit bestfriends.org/puppymills to learn more.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
and so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in. If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more, breathe better at NIH.gov.
1 800 878 8255. 1 800 878 8255. 1 800 878 8255. 1 800 878 8255. 1 800 878 8255. 1 800 878 8255. 1 800 878 8255. 1 800 878 8255. 1 800 878 8255. 1 800 878 8255. 1 800 878 8255. 1 800 878 8255. 1 800 878 8255. 1 800 878 8255. 1 800 878 8255. 1 800 878 8255. 1 800 878 8255. 1 800 878 8255. 1 800 878 8255. 1 800 878 8255. 1 800 878 8255. 1 800 878 8255. 1 800 878 8255. 1 800 878 8255. 1 800 878 8255. 1 800 878 8255. 1 800 878 8255. 1 800 878 8255. 1 800 878 8255. 1 800 878 8255. 1 800 878 8255 As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
It's a huge burden lifted financially, and so it allows you to give singular focus to your child. I've never known a hospital that takes care of their patients so thoroughly.
That was the first thing I was like, how are we going to do this? When they told us that we didn't have to pay a single bill, I was like, wow. They pretty much have saved us.
It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders, and now your focus is supporting this child.
There is not another hospital like St. Jude. The patient care is unmatchable. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Liberty lovers all across the globe, I am glad that you are here this Monday morning, Monday, September number 18 in the year of our Lord 2017. Welcome aboard. The call-in number this morning is 603-835-3226. Again, that's 603-835-3226. Got a lot of weird things going on this month. Well, it's typical Monday. A lot of weird things going on. You got clocks that aren't working, and I was actually looking at one of the show clocks, and it actually stopped. Now, usually when a clock stops, it's because it's battery powered, right? Well, this is an electronic clock on the web. There's no batteries involved. It just stopped, and I'm thinking, well, this is kind of freaky. So somehow time stood still for 5 seconds. Have you ever experienced time actually standing still while you were still moving around? I've had these really ethereal conversations with people before, discussing just theoretical stuff. And time is one of those things, because time is fleeting. We don't understand or have any understanding of time at all. We like to think that we do. Well, yeah, it's 60 seconds to a minute, Rod. Well, first of all, who decided on the measurement of the second? How long is a second? Well, if you don't fully understand what a second is, how are you going to state what a second is? And basically a second, well, let me just take our days, the 24-hour day. Our day is based on what? Our cycle, our planetary cycle. It's not the same in the universe and every habitable planet out there. A day is not 24 hours. It's not the same in our own little galaxy. Every planet has a different day length. But does that change time? Do you age faster if the day is shorter? Do you age slower if the day is longer? How about if the year is longer? What is Mars's annual trip around the sun? What takes 600 days, almost twice as long as the Earth? So would you live longer on Mars, technically speaking? There are all kinds of questions on time, and some of the things is, can time slow down? Can time speed up? We often talk about the perception of time. it's time is going, the clock is going so slow. I want to get out of here. It's going so slow. And you keep looking at the clock, and it's like you think 60 seconds has passed, a full minute, and it's only been like 5 or 10 seconds. And you're thinking, how is it possible? Been sitting here forever. Or you're just having so much fun that every time you look up, 15 minutes has passed, and you're thinking, well, geez, it's only been a minute or two, and it's been 15. Well, that happens a lot here on this program. Time just gets away. You think it's, you think it's only been like 5 or 10 minutes, and before you know it, an hour's gone by. You've gone through your commercial spots, and you're thinking, wow, that was quick. It was fast. Fast 3 hours, Rod. Yeah, I know. Because we have fun here. It's what happens when you have fun. I can't honestly say that I know what time is. None of us can. Because it doesn't really exist except in our own little funky little construct, which is meaningless. So can time stop, slow down, speed up? Nobody ever said, most scientists, nobody ever said that time is constant. And indeed, I don't think it is. Because otherwise, how would you be able to travel through time? Isn't our big thing, go back in time or go forward into time? We have movies and programs and TV shows that talk about time, time travel. Well, if time is constant, then you can't travel. If time is solid, that means once this particular second has passed, it can never be relived again. But time travel says that time is fluid and that it can be relived again. So that means if time is fluid, then it can stop. It can speed up. It can slow down. The question is, are we in control of it unconsciously? Do we know that? Can we control as a group? As a race, can we all get together as groupthink and change time, slow it down, speed it up? By the way, there is some evidence that evidently this whole equals MC squared time loop time travel thing is a little bit of there's some truth to it. I don't know how they measure this. But evidently, they've done experiments where people that who have gone over, a certain speed tend to age slower. Now, but do they really age slower, or does time move slower? Evidently, time moves slower for them the faster that they go. So when they actually, I guess they've done this with twins. And so when a twin is one twin. Yeah, spit it out there. When one twin, sound like Baba Wawa. When one twin is traveling at a high rate of speed for an extended period of time, and the other twin does not, and they get them back together and do time measurements, cellular decay measurements, I guess is how they do it. They take the measurements before and after. They find that the twin that was on the high-speed trip, aged a microfraction of a second slower. So there you have scientists, in a way, in effect, proving that time is not solid, it is not constant, but time is fluid. Therefore, one can honestly and rightfully and logically state and say that, yeah, there are times when time, I know, that's kind of funny. There are times when time does slow down, and there are times when time does speed up, and everything in between we do not know. Because if a second is a second, but we say it's a second, well, how do you measure a second? The length of a second. Because, Well, you break it down in ever smaller parts, right? Just like a minute, because, like an hour. An hour goes to a minute, and a minute goes to seconds. Well, you're still measuring that hour based on the second. And how do you measure the second? 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. But can you speak faster? 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Is it still a second? Anyway, I didn't want to get started. I guess part of that is bringing that up is time. People don't know time. That means time passing. That means getting older, ageism, that type of thing. And that there's a group of people out there that don't pay attention to time. And they don't pay attention to the times. There's a difference. We call something time, and then we call something the times. Times meaning the era in which we're talking about, whether it's a day era gone by or the era that we're currently living in. That's what the Hollywood elitist. Excuse me, coffee this morning. Hollywood elitist. The Emmys. Did you watch the Emmys last night? I didn't watch them. Well, those award shows are excruciating. Time does not pass by very fast. I stopped watching all those award shows, literally decades ago. I can't remember the last time I actually watched the Emmys or the Oscars or the music awards. The Grammys, that's it. I cannot remember, because there are a bunch of overpaid, overpampered, pompous, self-aggrandizing jackasses getting together to pat themselves in the back for their body of work and how great of a job that they did in entertaining all of us. And most of the time, they deliver junk. I guess, was it Roger Ebert? A number of people has slammed Jennifer Lawrence's new movie, Mother. Saying that it's one of the worst movies of the century. So that's, we're only 17 years into this, into this century. So that's a pretty powerful statement to say it's one of the. You got a long way to go for the century's over, but to already say that this is in the running to being one of the worst movies of the century is pretty bad. But you have a bunch of people getting together, patting themselves in the back. Oh, yeah, you did so wonderful. You were so great. We bowed. I'm sick of this self-aggrandizing stuff. I stopped watching it long ago. Not interested in it. So, therefore, I cannot say a whole hell of a lot. Doesn't mean I can't say anything, because I got plenty to say about it. But I can't say a whole hell of a lot about what went down on the Emmys last night, because I'd rather not watch it. Because it's full of a self-aggrandizing, pompous, overpaid idiots getting together who think that they know everything. Because some screenwriter, some author, some wordsmith put some words on paper that they memorized. They actually start believing that they're a superhero or that they're a genius or famous mathematician or something like that. They start believing their own stuff. Well, hey, it's called isn't that called method acting? Well, I guess there's different kinds of acting. There's method acting, and what is method acting? What are all the different? You actually go to classes to learn how to act. Like, really? Different types of methods. Really? Don't you just don't you just pretend to be somebody else? How you think that particular character is or should be? Look, how do kids do it? They don't do any method acting. They just pretend. Remember when you were a kid and you used to play me and my childhood best friends, we used to pretend like we were robots or we were astronauts. We used to use our Legos to and pretend that we were in a spaceship and all kinds of stuff. And I bet you that if you were filming it, you would have thought that we were in a movie. So all it is pretending. Don't give me all this other crap. Well, the learned people. Learned my ass. Jeez. I mean, this is ridiculous. Just a bunch of people getting together to pretend to do something and getting paid a lot of money to pretend.
The following program is closed.
Something kids always do anyway.
You're listening to me, your lovable host, Rod, here on the Rod Eccles Show.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
Around the town when folks are snacking,
Bell's the brand, you'll find them packing.
the great taste tells. If it's Bell, it's swell. At parties, dinner, or when you're lunching,
Bell's the brand that gets you crunching.
the great taste tells. If it's Bell, it's swell.
The potato chip that's made today is fresh today to be crisp today. So dip away, eat them any old way, and let the chips fall where they may.
In the bag or boxed in the pack,
Bell's the one that keeps you coming back.
'cause great taste tells. If it's Bell, it's swell. Bell, swell.
Away. 603-835-3226. Did you watch the Emmys last night? Again, honestly, I didn't watch. I got to tell you, I didn't even know that they were on. So even if I did, well, I guess if I wanted to watch them, I would have known that they were on, so I would have watched them. But I didn't even know that they were on. Didn't know they were being aired. What was I doing instead? I think it was on my computer. Was I doing any show prep? Nah, not at the time. I don't think so. Instead of watching the Emmys, I was watching a YouTube video on how to reupholster a certain kind of chair. That's what I was doing instead of the Emmys. That was more interesting to me than watching the Emmys. And then I had a conversation with my mom a little bit later. So instead of watching the Emmys, I watched a YouTube video on how to reupholster a chair and then have a phone conversation with my mom. That was a lot more interesting than watching the Emmys. When was the last time that you called your mom? All you people out there, when was the last time you called your mom on the phone? Well, I don't ever call my mom, Rod, because she lives right next door. Well, okay. But if you live far away, when's the last time you called your mom? Pick up the phone, call her. Say hi. Say with your dad. If your parents still alive, call them. Pretty easy. You could, instead of well, I know some people are saying, well, I can't call them now or during or last night because my parents are watching them. They're probably the only ones that are watching it. The Emmys are like the NFL. The NFL's in trouble, by the way. In fact, there are some people wondering that if ratings keep slipping on the NFL, and we'll cover that in a minute. If ratings keep falling in the NFL, some networks except for the primetime Monday and Thursday night football, some networks could start losing money. Because they got to charge a lot for the advertising rates, because they've bid up. They're paying the NFL a whole hell of a lot just to broadcast the games, for the right to broadcast them. And if the ratings go down, that means advertisers aren't going to pay as much for a commercial. And if they can't get enough commercials or enough money for each commercial, they're going to lose money. I'm surprised you got networks that still try to placate people and broadcast these award shows, the Emmys, the Grammys, the Oscars, the People's Choice Awards. There are others, aren't there? There's the Latino something entertainment award, I guess. I don't know. The African American, the Black, the BET Awards or something, that, and the Kids' Choice Awards? So those are the 6 or 7 main ones that I know of. I guess there's a whole bunch more that they air. I just don't pay attention to any of those stupid, self-aggrandizing award shows. How can you have a program, a movie, anything that has a best actor in it when it doesn't make any money if nobody wants to see it? How is that best acting if nobody wants to see it? And then sometimes when they do go the commercial route and find the more successful TV program or movie, the acting and dialogue is really pretty bad. Now, let me give you an example. And I know I'm going to get some people mad at me for this. But, I mean, honestly, I love the first Star Wars trilogy, the first Star Wars movies. They're great. But that first Star Wars, anybody ever really watch it and pay attention to the dialogue? The dialogue really, and the acting from at least half the actors, like Mark Hamill, really sucks. It does. But nobody ever said that Star Wars was a cinematic masterpiece when it came to dialogue and acting. It's all about the science fiction, the special effects, and the basic story. That's it. It's not about, super acting or anything. But hey, I guess it is what it is. But and all these wonderful movies that they always say at the Oscars that, they were so wonderfully acted. Nobody wants to see them because they're boring as hell. What was the last Oscar movie? Well, I remember, some of the more famous ones, like The Piano? I think I watched 5 minutes of The Piano and I was asleep. I can't watch that kind of crap. You watch a TV show or a movie to be entertained, not to view reality. I mean, come on, seriously? But this is what we're going to, award.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals, because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and practice an escape plan for you and your loved ones. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov, because fire is everyone's fight.
Have you mixed your pain meds, your sleep meds, your allergy meds? Call the Poison Helpline. Has your child eaten a tube of toothpaste, a chip of paint, a wild mushroom? Call the Poison Helpline. Have you been bitten by a spider, a snake, an insect? Call the Poison Helpline. Poisonings can happen at the home, on the job, or in the great outdoors. Call the Poison Helpline first for fast, free advice from medical professionals. Call 1-800-222-1222 anytime, anywhere. 1-800-222-1222. Save the number, save a life. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hi, I'm Hillary Duff. As a mom, I'm proud to support the March of Dimes in helping more women have full-term pregnancies and healthy babies. That's why I walk in March for Babies. The money we raise funds research and local programs that help babies overcome the challenges of premature birth and birth defects. Sign up today at marchforbabies.org. Together, we can help make healthier babies possible for thousands of families.
It's pretty amazing when you consider that 7 years ago, we didn't have the treatments we have now. We cure 80% of children with cancer. Go back 50 years, we were curing 20 to 30%. This is the miracle story of modern medicine. We understand what makes this cancer tick. And of course, without donors from around the world, this just couldn't happen. There's one thing we're focused on, and that's beating this thing.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
America's wounded warriors are coming home. After serving on foreign shores, these brave men and women are returning to their families and communities. Many have wounds you can see, and many have wounds you can't see, like post-traumatic stress disorder. Now that these warriors are back home, they are ready to enter the civilian workforce. To help, Wounded Warrior Project has developed the Warriors to Work program, a career counseling service that helps warriors translate their military experience to the civilian workplace. These extraordinary men and women bring proven world-class job skills and a unique perspective on teamwork to the job. And to ensure the right warrior finds the right job, Wounded Warrior Project works with employers to find just the right match. When you hire a wounded warrior, you hire an intelligent, talented, and committed new employee. Contact Wounded Warrior Project at findwwp.org. Welcome home the brave.
You're listening to The Rod Eccles Show. Let truth be told.
Oh, 3-835-3226. That is the call-in hotline number for everyone out there, all you ecclesiastites, liberty lovers, and regular Joe listeners out there. Who are the regular Joe listeners? Everybody who's not a liberty lover or an ecclesiastite. Those are the regular listeners. made up of, some liberals. I know some of you liberals are out there listening to the program. I know because of what you say in your tweets or Facebook posts or other social media areas, or some of the emails that you send me. By the way, you can send me an email, any kind of email that you want. It could be, love mail, hate mail, round mail, square mail. Doesn't matter, at the Rod Eccles Show @gmail.com. Oh, why are you doing that? Well, because it's easier than and Gmail has some good filters. And it's more public for one. So it's, if you're going to be really, really, really nasty, it's easier to trace through because Google keeps track of everything, right? That's what. So if you want to track something, you send it through Google. If you don't want to track something, you don't send it through Google. That's the whole point. Safety first. And in any case, the Emmys, evidently the Emmys quickly devolved last night. I don't know why people are so surprised by this, because they do this every year. That I know this year it's probably really bad because Trump is president. But every year they've been making strides against conservatives because we conservatives are just so out of touch with reality. I think it's amazing that you got a bunch of people who say that we're out of touch with reality, whose job it is to not be in reality. Think about that for a second. We are the ones living in reality, and their jobs, the very basis of their jobs, is imaginary, not reality. They're pretending to be somebody that most of them could never, ever be. They're pretending that a world, look, I happen to love the chop suey, kung fu, any kind of kung fu movies. I like martial arts movies. I don't care if it's they're imported from China, the Chinese, badly dubbed Chinese kung fu movies, or if they're starring Chuck Norris or Jet Li or somebody. They're not reality. If you ever look, I've taken martial arts. Okay, I've got to tell you, I've taken jiu-jitsu, and I've taken, not judo, but ninjutsu, taekwondo, and hapkido. And I got to tell you, none of those, you hit somebody, you don't go flying the way you kick somebody and they don't do twirls in midair. It just doesn't work that way. It looks cool. It looks great. It looks entertaining on film. But the reality is when you hit, they don't spin around that way. You can't make a person fly, 50 feet backwards with a standing front kick. You can't, some of the more fanciful kung fu movies, you can't, human beings can't fly or walk on top of trees and reeds. But people pretend that this is possible. And they utilize, it's some mystical kung fu or martial art that allows them to do it, that they've mastered. That doesn't work. It's not reality. The monks are not sitting on mountains in Tibet ringing bells, just going, 8 hours a day. They don't do that. It's not reality. But these are people, they go out every day to do their jobs, and they're immersed in imaginary tales. Nothing about their job is real. Oh, well, I work so hard. Bull crap. You sit around your trailer for most of the day. That's the hard part. While they get ready for your 2-minute scene. Do you realize look, I have actually worked on it wasn't a major Hollywood movie, but I've worked on a real movie. I was the assistant assistant director, continuity director, assistant continuity director. Now, how I got that particular job is a little strange. But I remember these people telling me, geez, you ought to go to New York or Hollywood and be in continuity, man, because they pay a lot of money for people like you, and you're awesome. Well, of course, my family at the time would say, are you crazy? You can't do that. You don't know anything about the movies. And I didn't. I got a good lesson, though, on being on that set. In all the minute preparation and detail that takes place. It might take 10 hours to prepare for five minutes of movie screen time. Really. So all those wonderful stars that claim they're working so hard, they're sitting in their trailer, or they're not even on the set yet. Do you realize that? The people who are going to be in the scenes, half the time, they're not even on the set when they start preparing for the scene. They come a few hours later, so they could be at home sleeping or watching, their favorite programs. There's not a lot of hard work that goes into the actors. Actors come in, they're given a little bit of direction from the director. They find out where they're supposed to be standing or sitting, wherever their presence is supposed to be on the set. If there's any stunt involved, they go over the stunt. They rehearse it briefly, blah 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 blah, and then they say their lines. Most of the time they don't take 10 takes of a single scene. It's 2 or 3, and it's they do a scene, okay, cut, let's do it again and they change the angle a little bit, let's do it this way. And 2 or 3 times, that's it. Unless they screw it up, that's it. 2 or 3 takes and it's done. And then the actors disappear while all the rest of the crew comes in, including the continuity director and assistant continuity director. Oh, yeah, we got to go in there and I had to take all kinds of... This was back in the day before there was digital. You had to take film shots and get them developed. So everything, when you had to go back to do that scene again, everything was back where it was supposed to be. I mean, half the time when you look at people that talk, that go into movies and talk about all the mistakes that they made, well, that's due to continuity. Somebody's not either misses something or isn't doing their job. How there's, I know. I mean, sometimes there are scenes when there's a little statue. In one cut, the statue's there, and then another cut, the statue's missing, and then the cut comes back to that place again, and the statue reappears. That's continuity. And there are some people out there that pick that kind of crap up. I don't pick it up. At least I never thought I picked it up. But evidently, when we were filming, I picked it up. Say, no, that's not where it was. And sometimes they say, no, it'd be okay. I'm like, not really. It won't be okay. It's going to be a big blaring thing you're going to notice. And the director will look through the camera and say, yeah, that's going to be noticeable. Good thing he caught it. So that's important stuff, but remember, you're pretending. So you gotta make sure that, in other words, when you're pretending, you're telling a lie. Movies are telling lies. So you've got to make sure that your lie is what? Straight. And in order to make the lie straight, everything's got to be the same all the time. So these people are professional liars. They're out there lying every day. That's not lying, Rod. When you're acting, acting is not lying. Yeah, acting is lying. It's a form of lying. You're pretending. Pretending is a form of lying. I don't pretend on this program. I don't act on this program. It's genuine. So there's no lying here. You're telling me that you see some of these stars on these they go on not Johnny Carson. They go on the Tonight Show, or they go on Ellen, or some other of these talk shows, and they're all bubbly and oh, can you they talk about how wonderful it was to work with this person or that person, and you're actually you're trying to get their eyes and their eyes and their body positioning and content tells a different story from what's coming out of their mouths. It is. They're lying somehow, or they're hiding something. Usually if they're hiding something, we usually find out a little bit later. Like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, whatever it was, Brad and Angelina. You ever go back to post interviews with those two? Man, their body language was saying one thing, and they were saying another thing, and then sure enough, everybody found, oh no, Brad and what's her face, Jennifer, are breaking up, and Brad's going with Angelina. So you got a bunch of liars, professional liars, who don't spend a whole hell of a lot of time on the set, who claim that they work hard, showing up once a year. Well, actually, depending on the more than one award ceremony, but for each different award ceremony, showing up once a year, patting each other on the back, telling them how wonderful they are, even though all their movies that year may have bombed at the box office, meaning nobody wanted to go see them. The paying public, us, rejected their movie, rejected their acting, but they're going to sit there and still tell us, while they're jet flying around the world in the most wasteful industry on the planet, telling us how bad and stupid we are. I mean, you even get people like Jennifer Lawrence. Well, I hope Trump supporters don't go see my movie. Well, I don't think anybody's going to see your movie, because everybody that I have ever seen, and I don't pay attention to critics, but I haven't seen a single critic anywhere that has praised your new movie, Jennifer. So they're going to get on TV and devolve their so-called self-aggrandizing Emmy show into a 3-hour anti-Trump rally. Now, you got to be some kind of stupid to come off one of the worst theatrical box office summers in recent Hollywood history, and you want to chastise the very people who have the money to go see your movies? You want to tell them how stupid they are? You want to tell them how dumb they are, what they don't get, what they don't realize? What we do realize, and we're really coming to realize, more and more people, is that you're a bunch of hypocritical, bigoted idiots. I mean, look, we always hear about all this. Well, here's a story here. Issa Rae. She's I don't even know who the hell this woman is, actually, to tell you the truth. I don't know who most of the people are. She's a creator and star of HBO's Insecure. Never seen it. I have HBO. Never seen it, never heard of it. But she's on the red carpet and she's saying, I'm rooting for every black person who was nominated for an Emmy. So, Rod, she's talking about her friends. She's hoping that her friends win. So she only has black friends? She's in Hollywood. Oh, I forgot. There's a lot of actors in Hollywood that are not white that talk about how racist Hollywood is. But Hollywood is made up of a bunch of what? Liberal people. They're all peace, love, and harmony. There's not supposed to be any racism out there, because they're out there. They're leading the pack when they're talking about anti-racism, because Trump is a fascist. He's a bigot. He's a racist. And all of these wonderful Hollywood stars, whether they be conservative stars or liberal stars, they talk about how racist Hollywood is. Remember the Oscars a couple of years ago? When you had Will and Jada Pinkett Smith that refused to go to the Oscars because it was the whitest Oscars ever in what, 20 years or something like that? I don't know. Not many of any people of color were evidently nominated. There weren't enough people of color nominated that year for the Oscars. And they call it the whitewashing of the Oscars. And a bunch of black actors boycotted the Oscars. And the Smiths were a famous couple of the time of the day that boycotted the Oscars. Well, how the hell can you not have enough colored people nominated and still say that you're not racist? Well, are you saying that they didn't get enough roles? Movie roles? Well, then whose fault is that? Or is it because they all sucked? Their acting sucked? I don't know. Interesting question, though. When you have some people out there, some leftist actors out in Hollywood who are boycotting the Oscars because the leftists out in Hollywood, leftists are claiming that leftists are racist. That's basically it. So she's on the red carpet saying, I'm rooting for every black person. Well, why the hell would she say that? What happened to the peace, love, and harmony? How are you bringing... We want to bring races together. Well, how are you bringing races together if you're standing on the carpet saying that you're rooting for every black person, whether you know them or not, simply because they're black? Doesn't matter if they're good. Doesn't matter if their performance was excellent. You just want them to win because they're black. Hello? Anybody? And yet these are the people that are going to be chastising you for supporting who? Trump. Why? Because, because Trump has become a major, major racist over the last 2 years. Right? Isn't that right? Oh, let's forget all the so-called black awards that Donald Trump has gotten from directly from the black community, like the NAACP. Now all of a sudden he's a racist. People like Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton praised Donald Trump back in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. And then he gets into the presidential race, and all of a sudden he's a racist, and Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton go silent on Trump. Notice that? Anybody notice that? And all of a sudden, Trump, big guy. Everybody wants to be on his program, the Celebrity Apprentice. Then he wins the presidency, and all those celebrities rail against him. Oh, Donald Trump is wonderful, just a beautiful person, wonderful, wonderful. Listen to them all before he gets into the political fray a couple of years ago. All those wonderful elitist, leftist, even has-been and current stars all talk about and praise Donald Trump, about who he is and oh yeah, he's doing so great, and then all of a sudden, Donald Trump's a racist. Anybody notice that? Am I the only one? I'm sure I'm not the only one who's noticed that.
Hello, America. It's me, your history. I remember a time when we thumbed our nose in a king's face, sent him packing. And when fascists and emperors talked a little bit too loud, we showed up, tore their cities to the ground, and then rebuilt them just to prove we could. We put men on the moon, we won a Cold War, and we elected fearless leaders who led fearless people. What the hell happened to you, America? Back in my day, we didn't elect a big-eared community organizer. We punched him in the kidney. Maybe it's time you came home, America. Home where you belong.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide. Plus, what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
This is Free America broadcasting on the Rod Eccles Show with a message to all patriots trapped behind the lines in California, New York, Boston, and Chicago. Don't give up, true lovers of America. Even as we speak, moves are being made to drive the invaders back to the land from which they came. Defeat the would-be dictators and lift the chains of tyranny from around your neck. Stay strong. Stay brave. You're not forgotten, and you're not alone. Until next time, patriots, this is Free America signing out.
Call Rod now, 603-835-3226. Lines are open.
So this woman from this HBO series Insecure, she was out there on the red carpet at the Emmys talking about how she was rooting for everybody black. And now I love it. I love it when they start talking really nitty gritty about the programs or movies or TV shows that they're involved in. They call them stories. We want to tell our story. We're just proud and happy to be able to tell our stories. They're stories. They're not reality. They're just story. Even if something that is based on a real life event, based on reality, still a story. We want to tell this story. Well, if it's historical, it's not a story. Well, you want to jazz it up and make it. One of the issues that a lot of people have about some TV programs these days, they're so melodramatic. They really are. So, I mean, do they carry it over into their award shows? Do these people act up there on stage? I mean, you got to wonder. How authentic are they on stage when they're behind that podium, giving their little thank you speech? How authentic are they? They have this new AI stuff that's out there. You remember me telling you about it? I've told you about it last week about taking this AI program could take a picture, take pictures of people and determine whether or not they are gay or straight, as well as determine whether or not they are liberal or conservative, just from their picture. Now, I wonder if they can take pictures of Hollywood people and be able to tell how if they're lying or not. Can you take a picture of somebody and see if they're telling the truth or not? I think that would be interesting. They should be able to do something like that. If they can tell if a person's gay or straight, or if they're a liberal or a conservative, they should be able to tell if a Hollywood actor is telling the truth at his awards acceptance or not. I mean, honestly, maybe we should just put the smiley, happy faces on all of them. That might work too. Then we don't have to at least see their faces, right?
Have you ever thought to yourself, I'm a leftist elite Hollywood a-hole? If so, good news. The Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College is now open, featuring such courses as unemployment is not paid vacation. No, Americans don't want to spend $19 for an order of french fries, and the ever popular shut the hell up. Why, just listen to this big-time celebrity endorsement.
I'm not Rosie O'Donnell, and I think this school's offensive, sexist, and racist.
And I think you're a giant a-hole who needs to shut the hell up. Hey, we teach a course in that. The Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College, where being an a-hole is not a guarantee you'll be an A student.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. Woo! There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please, call or go online right now.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and always stay in the kitchen when cooking at high temperatures. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov, because fire is everyone's fight.
And now, a message from the American Migraine Foundation.
It's an absolute nightmare. I was terrified. It was like your head's going to explode.
Migraine is a disabling disease.
Just all of a sudden couldn't see.
Migraine has ruined my life.
Absolutely terrifying.
There's pain that does not stop.
It's a throbbing, pulsing, banging, hammering feeling in your head.
36 million Americans suffer.
I started getting migraines around 5 years old.
Just takes over everything.
I feel trapped by migraine.
It hurts like my head's gonna fall off.
And the whole world around you stops.
My world has gotten small.
You feel like the world's closing in on you. There's nothing you can do.
I had spent a year housebound. It's like you're trapped in your head. There's no escaping it. You can't leave your body.
Don't suffer alone. Make your move against migraine. Visit AmericanMigraineFoundation.org to find help, learn more, and get connected.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
And so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in. If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more, breathe better at NIH.gov.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, For our nation. For us all. The few. The proud. The Marines.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Welcome back. Glad that you are here. Hour number 2 here on the Rod Eccles Show. I am, of course, your lovable host, L-Rod, coming to you live this Monday morning. Monday, September number 18 in the year of our Lord 2017. Thank you to all of you liberty lovers and ecclesiastites all across the globe. The call-in action hotline number is 603-835-3226. You can utilize that number at just about any time while this program is live. L-I-V-E. Live. Again, that's 603-835-3226. The NFL, still not quite done with, by the way, I guess there's a new hurricane on the way. But Hurricane Jose is headed for New York and New England. Ooh, yay. Well, it happens. Oh, good God, another... Yeah. Could we get another picture of... we got the famous picture of Governor Chris Christie hugging Obama. Remember that a few years ago? Will we get another famous picture of Chris Christie hugging Donald Trump? If Jersey were to get hammered by another hurricane under Chris Christie's watch. Yeah, I'm surprised I haven't heard more and more people on the left. They've been trying to, I got a story here in the paper pile about climate change and President Trump. Might not make you happy. We'll get to that in a bit. But hurricanes are a natural occurrence, are they not? They've been happening for as long as man has been keeping records on the east coast of North America. Of North and Central America, they've been happening. Hurricanes don't seem to hit South. Do they hit South America? When was the last time a hurricane hit South America? It doesn't go that. They don't follow that trajectory, do they? Look, I'm not a climatologist. I don't claim to be one. I don't play one on the radio or on TV. So I don't. I mean, look. You know my experience with knowing anything about tornadoes is Sharknado. Anybody? Do you realize that there's 4 of those movies out now? Speaking of bad acting and bad dialogue, but why are they still making them? Well, they're making them because somebody's watching them. Enough people, I mean, they're low-budget things. You can tell they're low-budget as far as the special effects are concerned. The actors probably aren't getting paid a hell of a lot because all of them really... David Hasselhoff is in it. They all suck. What's his name from the old... The original 90210, Ian Ziering, 902, the original 90210, one of the 90210 hunks, I guess, back. He was the blonde one. Yeah, he looks pretty good. Well, he's like 40s now, late 40s, early 50s. Looks pretty good for his age. Not gonna, he's. I guess he hasn't been around the block like many of the actors. He didn't do drugs. At least as far as I know, he didn't get caught up in drugs, and so that's why he's a. Somebody made that point about certain actors. You look at certain actors; they're around the same age. But, take a look at Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise evidently doesn't do drugs and doesn't drink. Looks pretty good for, I don't know if he's gotten assistance from plastic surgery or not, but he looks pretty good for his age. What, he's 50-something? Is he 55 or something like that? He looks pretty good. Can't complain. Looks like he's in good shape. Still does some of his own stunts. But why do people watch? Why do they keep making these Sharknado movies? And I'll admit it. I watched Sharknado. I didn't know that there was Sharknado 4. Hell, I had just barely heard that there was a Sharknado 3. I have seen Sharknado 1 and 2 thinking, why have I wasted an hour and a half of my life on each of these movies? But you know what? They're so bad, they're fun. But I didn't see Sharknado 3, so it was a surprise to me to see Sharknado 4 on Netflix. So what did I do? I clicked play. It's about a week ago. And I'm sitting there watching this stupid-ass movie thinking, I cannot believe I'm wasting another 90 minutes of my life. And I'm laughing halfway through. You know what I went to see this weekend? I went to see It. Went to see It yesterday with some friends. Yeah, the movie It. Now, I'm not going to give it's hard to give away anything in the movie because the book has been out there and they've already had a mini-series back in the 80s. Everybody knows how It ends. But anyway, I went to see it, and as true to form, I probably laughed out loud at some of the more inappropriate times because I wasn't scared. The parts that I was kind of hoping it was going to be like a thriller, and the parts that were supposed to make you jump, I ended up laughing. Don't get me wrong. This Pennywise clown was pretty creepy. I don't know the actor that played him, but evidently he had to teach himself how to smile that way. And if you've noticed, anyway, if you haven't seen the movie and you've seen this Pennywise, you got to see it because he makes a very good creepy clown. I will give him kind of like Jim Carrey. There were certain aspects, in the movie The Mask. He saved. Well, they talk about it. At least they used to. How much Jim Carrey saved them because of his rubbery face, and what he could do without needing prosthetics and makeup and CGI and everything to make his faces that way because his face was so plasticky and rubbery. Well, evidently this actor who saved the movie studio a little bit of money because of the way he taught himself how to smile that way, and they didn't have to do it for him. He just did it. It's hard. It's hard to get that kind of look sometimes. Like Tim Curry was a natural. Tim Curry has a rather large mouth, and that smile when he gets that evil grin, it's hard to duplicate that. That's what made him a good It clown back in the day. But this guy, I don't know who this is. I don't even know half the actors, to tell you the truth. There's only one of the child stars in the film that I recognize, and that was from Stranger Things from Netflix. He was one. I don't know who the others are. I don't think I've ever seen them before. Evidently we have, but I don't know who they are. But I laughed at the wrong time. I don't think there were many funny, really truly funny moments in the movie, but I definitely laughed at certain aspects where people are supposed to probably jump or be horrified or scared at, because I don't like horror movies, because they don't scare me. So I went with friends. We went to we saw it at a Smitty's, which is the same as, if you know what a Chuckster's is, it's the same type of atmosphere. They have a little bit of stadium seating, but there's also tables and big comfortable executive chairs that you sit in. And they bring you food and beer. You order it. You order food, not just popcorn, a full menu. They order you order from. So we're now. No, and I didn't have. I think there were four of us that went, and we bought a pitcher of beer. So that's basically a glass and a half each. So we weren't drunk. But I laughed at the probably the wrong times. But now if I'm doing that, is there any wonder why I will spend 90 minutes watching another Sharknado? It was awful. But sometimes you just like watching a B movie. But none of those stars, when I've ever seen Ian Zerling talk about he actually makes fun of the movies himself. He knows that they're campy and stupid and terrible, but they're fun. They are fun. Good for him. He knows his place. He knows none of that stuff is going to be so-called Oscar-worthy. Doesn't take himself too damn seriously. Good for him. But if you like, if you haven't seen it, well, first of all, you need to understand that the whole movie is not the whole movie. It's not the whole story. And there obviously is going to be a sequel, much like the miniseries. I don't know if there's going to be 3 movies. I guess there's going to be, like Kill Bill 1 and Kill Bill 2. Well, this is the same thing. I guess it's going to be It 1 and It 2. Just so you know. But, it is what it is. It's if you want to spend your lay down your $15 to go see it, good. Yeah. I don't think most people will be disappointed by it. Now, that's not a rousing, endorsement from me. But it's saying that if you like that kind of stuff, that kind of genre of a movie, and I think that they did a better job so far of this movie version than they did of the 80s miniseries version. So there you go. So now I went into this thing not realizing that there were supposed to be 2 movies. And it got to so I was kind of surprised when it got to the end, and that was it. I'm like, what? Wait, it's not. I know the story. It's not the end. Well, evidently I was then informed. Well, it was going to be an It too. Okay, got it. Yeah, stupid me. I didn't realize it going into the program. But in any case, I digress. But it's entertainment. That's all it is. I don't think there's any great moral story being told in it. Other than the fact that I understand how kids can be so stupid, but adults, I don't know. Don't understand how adults could be so stupid. But they always are in these horror movies. So they have to be, or else the horror movie doesn't work. Just saying. I mean, people have to be really stupid. I mean, they have to be so. It goes beyond being scared. It's just stupid being stupid, because otherwise the story cannot work. Because I think in real life most of us probably would not. I would like to think that most of us would not be that stupid. Well, I don't know, if you've never experienced evil and apparitions like that before, maybe you wouldn't fully understand what the hell was going on, so you would be kind of stupid. But I highly doubt that most normal people out there would be as stupid as what we see on the screen in these horror movies. I don't know. But hopefully we'll never find out in reality. That would not be a pip. That would be awful if that stuff actually started really happening. But there are other scream-worthy things happening in reality. Maybe there is no real evil demon, creepy clown out there. Still not exactly sure what kind of a demon he was. He lived on fear, I guess, right? But he also ate some of the people. I didn't fully understand don't fully understand who Pennywise is, or what kind of demon he is. But anyway, I never really read the book, so I didn't delve in. I don't know the nuances of Pennywise. And I've never had anybody explain it to me. And you know what? Don't try, because I'm not all that interested. There's no need to explain fully who and what demon Pennywise was and go back into history and say, well, there's this demon and, he did this and that. I'm not that interested, to tell you the truth. What I am interested in, however, is how the NFL is sliding backwards. The sliding NFL ratings could throw networks for a loss. And this is from CBS News. I kid you not. And when we get back, we'll get more into it.
You're listening to the Rod Eccles Show, the coolest, most politically incorrect, conservative black man on the planet.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
You know, a couple of weeks ago, a long-haired young person came into our bank and said to me, I bet you won't lend me money to buy an electric guitar. Well, he was making $100 a week, and he was over 18, and I said, I bet you I will lend you money to buy an electric guitar. And I did. So what happens? The punk gets busted for possession of dangerous drugs, and we're out $350. There's one thing about kids nowadays. You don't have to give them credit.
Universal Bank. We trust you. About as far as we can throw you.
603-835-3226. We often talk about how great entertainers are. Why do we always talk about people who entertain us, how great they are? As if they've really affected it. They haven't really. I don't care how great of an actor you are or how great of a sports figure you are, player you are. All you've done throughout your career is entertain me. No, don't get me wrong. I have some favorite actors that if they're in a particular TV show or movie, I am more likely to see it because they're in. I get the star power factor. Just like in sports, there are sports stars that because of how good they are, whether or not they're a member of my favorite team, I am more likely to watch that particular game with them in it because I want to see them perform. But that's all it is. When the Pittsburgh Steelers, my favorite football team, when they win the Super Bowl, it doesn't change my life at all. It's 3 hours of entertainment on TV. Yay, they won. And then, you're at a party, you have a couple of beers for it. Hey, hip, hip, hooray, Pittsburgh won, my team won. Great, I win. And that's it. If they lose, I don't go on a rampage. If they win, I don't go on a rampage. I don't understand why people are so affected by anything like this. It's entertainment, whether it be a movie or whether it be sports. It's a business. The movie industry is a business. The sports industry is a business. The NFL is a business. It's important that people understand this because they're making money off of you. But they're not making as much money as they would like to off of you recently. Sliding NFL ratings could throw networks for a loss. And the reason is because Americans, most of the people that are watching American football are Americans. Even Canadians don't really like to watch a lot of American football because they have their own Canadian Football League. They have 10 teams up there? Or is it a 10-week season? It's a short season, but I don't know. Some American football players go up there to play because obviously there's not enough Canadian football players, really good ones. So some of our cast-offs go up there to train, basically, and to come back into Flutie was one. Flutie went to the Canadian Football League. Honed his skills as a QB, and he came back when he played for Buffalo for years. So that happens, but it's just entertainment. And if you're going to start having a bunch of players who are making millions of dollars over the life of their contracts for playing a game, and then it's not just, sitting down or kneeling at the national anthem is not just disrespecting the American flag and the American anthem. It's disrespecting the country as a whole. And when you disrespect the country as a whole, you're also disrespecting your fans. And football fans are much like NASCAR fans. They're highly patriotic. Can you imagine if they were to have a national anthem before all the drivers got into their cars at a NASCAR race, and half the NASCAR drivers decided to sit on their cars while they're playing that? There's no way in hell they take, the NASCAR fans would take that. There's no. Well, evidently, neither are American football fans. They're getting tired of it. They're turning it off. They're finding something else to watch or do on a Sunday afternoon because NFL ratings are in the tank. The lowest, they're down ratings this year are down 14%. Do you realize how huge of a drop that is in ratings? 14%. Ratings haven't been this low since 2009. And they're still sliding. There's no halting the slide in sight. Why? Because every time you turn on the damn TV and you're watching the damn NFL, they're showing some people who are sitting or kneeling during the national anthem. It's some protest type of crap. They're killing the NFL. And the NFL is too chicken to do anything about it. Roger Goodell is too chicken to do anything about it. And so what's going to happen? They're going to lose more viewers. They're going to lose more fans. I maybe watched a couple of snaps so far this whole season, including the preseason. I'm not interested. I don't want to turn on the television and watch a bunch of rich, anti-American people play an American pastime game and defile it. I don't want to see it. Evidently, a growing number of Americans don't want to see it either, and they're turning it off.
Dad, we need to talk.
Can we just enjoy the drive?
If you're not going to listen to me, who will we listen to?
Jeffrey. Ah! Marcia Gay Harden, what?
Eyes on the road, Dad.
What are you doing? What are you doing in my back seat? How did you get in here?
You're getting older.
Not that old.
Your brain's changing. It's natural.
Yeah, That's what I was saying.
Honey, I've got experience with this. Jeffrey, brain health is all about making the most of your brain as you age and helping to reduce some of the risks to your brain.
Really? Now that's interesting.
So, you'll talk to her about this, but not me. Marcia Gay Harden? Where did she go?
Learn what you can do to help keep your brain healthy at brainhealth.gov.
She didn't say goodbye? I mean, I would have.
Visit brainhealth.gov.
Every day, 70,000 puppies or kittens are born in the U.S. Cute, right? What's not cute is that half of all litters are accidents, which leads to millions killed in shelters each year. Turns out, those little cuties can get pregnant sooner than you think. But here's the good news. You can stop the accident before it happens. When you bring home a pet, get them fixed at 4 months old. Prevent more. Fix at month 4. Visit fixat4.com for more information. Brought to you by Best Friends Animal Society.
There's a threat targeting America. One that's growing fast, but may still be hard to see. Lyme disease. Spread by tiny ticks, often smaller than the head of a pin. This dangerous disease is now more widespread than West Nile, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS combined. And if left untreated, it can lead to arthritis, facial paralysis, and even memory and concentration problems, often called brain fog. As the threat of Lyme disease grows to more than 300,000 projected cases each year, it's time for us to target Lyme disease. That means checking for ticks when you've been outside, even in your own backyard. It means seeing a doctor if you experience the symptoms of Lyme disease, which can include joint pain, flu-like symptoms, fever, fatigue, or sometimes a bullseye-shaped rash. Set your sights on stopping Lyme. Learn how you can target Lyme disease at targetlyme.org.
Battles aren't won solely on the field. That's a common misconception. Battles are won within, over enemies of fear, enemies of doubt. In that place where promises are kept. Promises to oneself.
This is a physical training event.
Promises to one's community.
Healthy people move debris out of their house.
Promises to one's country. In the heart of every Marine, you'll find a promise. A promise forever kept. A promise of battles won.
We're here early before they wake up. We stay late, we stay informed, we invest in the latest technology.
We take the time to train the next generation of doctors and nurses. We work together to make sure we heal their bodies and their minds.
We do this not because it's our job, but because this is about our veterans' lives. This is our mission. More than 300,000 of us working as one, together with families and loved ones. No matter where they live in this country, we'll be there.
We all come together and stand together to serve our veterans. We stand strong, united. Stand with us in caring for our veterans.
Hi, this is Kelsey Grammer. When military service members head into battle, none are expected to face the enemy alone, but many return home and become isolated as they struggle with the visible and invisible wounds of war. It can be difficult knowing how to overcome that challenge and rekindle bonds similar to those formed in the military. Wounded Warrior Project supports these injured veterans through their recoveries by connecting them with fellow warriors and their communities. No one should fight this battle alone. Join us at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Call Rod now, 666-603-835-3226. 403-835-3226. That is a number. You know, yesterday I was actually talking. We got into this whole discussion about accents and how some accents were contagious. And some accents were not. And how some accents prevented people from picking up another accent. And one of the contagious accents, or accents that prevented people from Brits can live in the United States for years and years and years and never lose their British accent. Now, the funny thing is that if you're in New England, especially in Maine or even in Boston, the New England accent, the many variations of the New England accent, it sound an awful lot like various British English accents, not Scottish or Irish, but some of the, like the Liverpoolian and, you know, the Birmingham and Berkshire and, you know, some of those English accents are very prominent here. Well, I mean, you know, New England got its name New England because there are a bunch of Brits back in the day came to this part of our country and established. That's why we got such a funny accent over here. People in but it's really kind of weird because they don't understand how to pronounce anything. I mean, there are people, you know, some of my friends, they'd go to other places that have similar towns or names like we have here. And, you know, you say Peabody and people look at you outside of New England, they look like you have two. Peabody. What the hell is a Peabody? Peabody. You know, your town Peabody here in your state. What? We don't, Peabody. Oh, you mean Peabody. Yeah. Peabody. No, it's not Peabody. It is Peabody, but they call it Peabody here. Peabody, Massachusetts, on the coast of Mass. It's not Peabody, Massachusetts. It's Peabody, Massachusetts. Just like here in northern New Hampshire, it's not Berlin, New Hampshire. It's Berlin. Who does that? I've talked about this ad nauseum on this program about the New England accent. And what brought it up was last night when I was talking to my mother, we were talking about family. That we have some family members that have decided to leave Nolens. I said, it's not Nolens, Mom. It's New Orleans. And she goes, that's not how they pronounce it. I said, yes, I know. They're just as bad as New Englanders. They don't know how to pronounce things. It's not, well, if you know when you're not from Nolens if you don't say Nolens. I'm not from New Orleans, so I'm not going to pronounce it Nolens unless I'm trying to be funny about it because it's funny. But that's the case all across the country. We have certain accents in places where people, I mean, like down in Nolens, they say, you know, right, bar and har. No, that's hair, by the way. So it's just as bad as New England. But one of the accents that is very difficult to get rid of once you acquire it, I guess, is a Scottish accent. And there are Americans that go to Scotland for a period of time for whatever reason, and they come back with a Scottish brogue, and they can't get rid of it. Well, that is also true with certain Southern accents called Southern drawls. There are certain Southern accents that are hard to get rid of. And people pick them up Yankees pick up a Southern drawl depending on where, you know, what Southern state they go to pretty damn easy. And I know people that were born and raised and lived most of their life in the Northeast. They're as Northeast can be, and then they go down and they live in Georgia for 2 years. And when I talk to them again, like, when did you pick up a Southern drawl? You weren't born in Georgia. How come you're talking that way? And they don't even realize they're doing it. They say, "Oh, I'm not talking any accent. What are you talking about, Rod? Oh, I don't have no accent." Dude, yeah, you do. But it's one of those things that's easy to pick. And you know, language and accents in this country are fascinating. Of course, you go to the West, and they can't pronounce things correctly over there either. It's not Oregon, by the way. It's Oregon. State of Oregon. Portland, Oregon. Oregon? Isn't that an instrument you play, not the name of a state? Well, yeah. Yes. And you go up to the northern Midwest, Minnesota, Dakotas, Wisconsin. Yeah, don't you know? It's just and the Texas accent is much different from the rest of the Southern accents out there. I mean, it's just the accents around the globe are interesting. And one of the problems that a lot of Asian, because some people complain about Asians not being able to speak English very well. Well, most Asian dialects, the reason why we're able to do certain other accents and get along with them is because there's a lot of commonality. French, Italian, Spanish, English has a lot of Italian, Spanish, and German words, and there's a lot of commonality. A lot of the languages in the West have a Latin base to them, and the Latin has, was a combination of other languages of back in the day. So there's a base to that, but there's commonality, which is why surprisingly enough, which is why a lot of the Northern Europeans, like the Swedes and the Dutch and the Norwegians, can speak English with hardly an accent at all, even though when they're speaking in their native tongue, you would think it sounds nothing like an English accent, but they can speak sometimes it's very difficult to distinguish their accent. But then you go across the globe to the east, Asians. Well, the reason why they have such a hard time with English and Western dialects is because there's no commonality between most Asian languages and most Western languages. There is none. There's no commonality. So it's kind of interesting how some cultures have a more difficult time of dropping an accent versus others for various reasons. I have no idea why the Scottish accent is so difficult to drop. It's kind of cool though, but I have no idea why it's so. Irish can actually drop the Irish accent if they've been here long enough. It fades, but that Scottish brogue does not fade. Interesting. Anyway, if you're new to the program, I digress on interesting topics quite a bit. But the one of the things that we do in this country is that people like to travel this country. I do. And visiting different aspects and different areas is a lot of fun. You get a taste of how people live in different parts of the country. And it's really fascinating because we have such a diverse culture here. Amazing as diverse as it is, how unified it is, how the same it is from coast to coast, from border to border. There's a lot of variation, but it's all the same. Now, I don't mean boring same. But there is such a commonality that we recognize it no matter where we go within the country. In all 50 states, no matter where we go, we recognize it. And to some extent, that also includes Canada, although Canada has a slightly different culture, national culture than we do, obviously. But you go anywhere in the 50 states and you understand and know the American culture where you go. And they may have slightly different customs, obviously, down in the bayou and the Gulf is different from how they live down there is different from how we live up here in New England. But there's still an American culture that we both will easily, both regions will easily recognize as being American. Plain and simple. There's just no denying it. So you can go from coast to coast, border to border. And a lot of politicians don't understand that for whatever reason. And there are plenty of politicians that do understand it. And that's why some politicians have an easier time of going, on a national level, like running for president, because they understand the nuances. They understand that we're still one culture, but there are different nuances in different regions. And they don't make the mistake of believing that, that everybody's the same. They don't make the mistake of saying that those down in the bayou are the same, the fishermen down in the bayou and in the Gulf are the same as the fishermen off the coast of New England. They're not the same. We have a commonality, but we're not the same. But yet you got a bunch of politicians that run around and go to D.C. and think that we're in the swamp and think that we're all exactly the same. So the federal government can do anything and everything that it possibly wants to have a one-size-fits-all for everybody. This country's too big and too diverse for that. Yeah, anybody ever think of this? You have a bunch of leftists running around talking about how we're all different. We need to be able to express those differences and embrace those differences. And then they send people to Washington, D.C. who want to homogenize us all and make us all the same. One size fits all from Washington, D.C. There is no possible way I could ever be a liberal. No possible way I could be a left. It is so hypocritical to be a leftist. You people just do not understand or fathom the depth of which hypocrisy resides on the left. I mean, I just gave you the example with Hollywood. You got a liberal actor on the red carpet saying, "Yeah, I'm rooting for all the black actors here. I am." Whether or not they're good, it's irrelevant. It's all about skin color. In a town where skin color, they say, is supposed to be irrelevant. The hypocrisy is gigantic on the left. Maybe that's why a lot of people don't see it, because they cannot believe how hypocritical and how gigantic it is of a problem it is on the left. I understand how people might say, well, it can't be that bad. I mean, the reality of it, it's just not possible. But it is possible, because it is the reality. Now, I'm not saying that people on the right can't be hypocritical, but no way are those on the right of the political aisle anywhere near as hypocritical as those on the left. Nowhere near it. I don't know. You'd think that they have a split personality on the left. Everybody on the left has a split personality, because they'll protest and they'll say one thing, and then while they're protesting, they'll say, "Well, we need this law or this legislation or this regulation," which is the exact opposite of what they're protesting. Antifa, big one, anti-fascist. They say they're out there fighting fascism, but they're fighting fascism with fascism. And the problem is they evidently don't see that they're being I don't know how you don't see it. I really don't. I don't understand how you don't clearly see your own hypocrisy that way. I mean, when it's that deep, that big, that large, I don't see how you don't see it. You want to tell somebody they're being fascist, and then you say, well, we're not going to let you speak, which is exactly what fascists do. They shut down the opposition. And this is what the left is doing. They're out there, well, we have a right to protest, but we're going to shut down you. We're going to keep you from protesting because you're a fascist. Well, that's what fascists do. Well, according to the Los Angeles Times, the Democrats' road to winning back the House in 2018 is going through California. Nancy Pelosi. Again, the hypocrisy is rampant, because didn't they used to say how stupid or brain damaged possibly that Reagan and W. Bush were? George W. Bush makes a verbal faux pas, and they're all over him. Obama says stupid stuff. It's no big deal. Oh, he's tired. They've stopped trying to explain Nancy Pelosi. But hey, the road to winning back the House is through Nancy Pelosi's state. I know I'm going crazy with this stuff. I don't get it.
I'm not Rod Eccles, and I approve this message.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
A couple of weeks ago, a long-haired young person came into our bank and said, "I'll bet you're a Nazi." Well, I love America, support the Constitution, and believe in capitalism. So I told him I'm not a Nazi, and I'm not. So what happens? The punk breaks out 2 windows and pepper sprays an elderly woman in the face. You know, there's one thing about long-haired young people nowadays. They're real assholes. Long-haired young people. You suck.
The interesting thing is about hypocrisy, especially on the left, is it also has a commonality. Now, as a nation, we as a people have a commonality. That's what makes nations or countries. You know, people gather together, out of survival necessity, sure. And then we stayed together and began to congregate in bigger and bigger groups out of commonality. We developed common languages so we could communicate. And that commonality really, if you were to pay attention, it really comes about why and how we have some of our national boundaries around the world. Because there is a commonality that has been instituted over time, over history. And that commonality is rooted in culture and in language. So a lot of times there's a lot of commonality, and you have countries based on because of their language. Now, sure, in some cases language has changed because the boundaries have changed, but in many cases, the reason why you have certain boundaries is because of that language and commonality in culture. And, you don't have a lot of Swiss-speaking people in Spain or Italy. But again, there are not a lot of Spanish-speaking people or Italian-speaking people in Switzerland. And they didn't get that way because if somebody drew a line, an invisible line on a map. Excuse me. It is just, that's the way it happened because of the culture that was developed over time. We have the same thing here. And it obviously doesn't take a very long period of time for a culture to develop when you have people with a commonality. So are we going to... Liberals here in New England are, pretty much the same as liberals in California or liberals in Texas or liberals in Michigan. They're hypocritical. They're idiotic at best. And it doesn't matter how far, how far out they're spread or how tightly they're... Well, I mean, to take, for instance, here... You could travel, comparatively speaking, Texas and California and Alaska, I mean, those are huge states. I mean, take Arizona and Colorado, for example. They have counties as big as some, as the states here in New England. You could travel about 8 hours in Texas and not get through Texas. You travel 8 hours in New England, not only will you hit all 6 New England states, but you'll have some time left over, a lot of time left over to make it through New York into Pennsylvania and possibly Ohio. That's how compact we are up here. But the liberals up here, even though they're compact, they're still the same as the liberals out west, where the states get huge, and they have counties the size of states here in the Northeast. So there's a commonality there. I know it's a commonality of stupidity, a commonality of hypocrisy. You get it. But there is that commonality. And they put their belief or trust in certain areas of the country and they all believe this. So if the Los Angeles Times said that the road to winning back the House for the Democrats and liberals is through California, Nancy Pelosi's California, you're gonna get a bunch of liberals all over the country who are going to pour their resources into California because they believe it. They're going to believe it. It's not going to be easy for them. Well, after all, Nancy Pelosi is their spokesperson. I don't get that. I really don't. I'm trying to fully understand the scope of what people believe and why they believe what they believe, especially on the left. Now, hypocrisy does explain a lot of it. Hypocrisy probably explains away most of the left. But what it cannot explain is Nancy Pelosi. She's an enigma. Not only is this woman, are they putting their hopes in this woman to revive the Democrat Party, but this woman is such an idiot. And she's risen to the level of being the leader of the Democrats in the House of Representatives in Washington, D.C., and she has a difficult time of putting two words together. Now, if that were a Republican, they would be pouncing on how dumb and incoherent the Republican is. But Nancy Pelosi can be as incoherent as she can possibly be, and the left doesn't pay any attention to it. Well, I mean, hey, come back to the Northeast here. Bernie Sanders, big hypocrite. No, he's anti-rich person, but last year he made over $1 million. He paid cash for a vacation house, $500,000 or $600,000 for this thing, and the left overlooks it. No big deal. Hypocrisy runs rampant on the left. How the hell can you be anti-rich and then go and act like a rich person? Well, I mean, hell, they do that in Hollywood as far as well, you know what that is, all the global warming.
It was just another quiet Saturday at the Johnson home.
Honey, have you seen the hammer?
It's in the garage.
Oh, no, not the garage.
Later that same day...
Dad, I can't find the bicycle pump.
Son, I'm afraid it's in the garage.
The garage?
Then the following Tuesday...
Howard, where's the car?
It's in the garage.
Does your garage look like a giant yard sale without the yard? Do you cringe at the thought of entering your garage? Then you need Crest Garage Cabinets. With one phone call, those wonderful folks at Crest will come out to your home, design the best combination of cabinets for you, and install them quickly and professionally before your very eyes.
It's a miracle.
And unlike other companies who ask for a down payment or money up front, you won't pay a penny until your Crest cabinets are installed to your satisfaction. So call Crest today, toll-free at 1-800-548-2848. That's 1-800-548-2848. And you'll never fear going into your garage again.
And now, a message from the American Migraine Foundation.
It's an absolute nightmare. I was terrified. It was like your head's gonna explode.
Migraine is a disabling disease.
Just all of a sudden couldn't see.
Migraine has ruined my life.
Absolutely terrifying.
There's pain that does not stop.
It's a throbbing, pulsing, banging, hammering feeling in your head.
36 million Americans suffer.
I started getting migraines around 5 years old.
Just takes over everything.
I feel trapped by migraine.
It hurts like my head's gonna fall off.
And the whole world around you stops.
My world has gotten small.
You feel like the world's closing in on you. There's nothing you can do.
I had spent a year housebound. It's like you're trapped in your head. There's no escaping it. You can't leave your body.
Don't suffer alone. Make your move against migraine. Visit AmericanMigraineFoundation.org to find help, learn more, and get connected.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
and so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in. If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more, breathe better at NIH.gov.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals, because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring the rain.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Hour number 3 here on the Rod Eccles Show, the fastest 3 hours on Internet Talk Radio right here on this program, here on this Monday, the September the 18, number 18. We're now into the second half of September. Some people wouldn't, well, some leftists do recognize it and say it's global warming is the cause of it being so warm here the past week or so, and it's going to be continuing throughout this week, for a good portion of this week. I guess we're going to have some warm weather, some rain. Evidently, we're also going to feel parts of Hurricane Jose, I guess, is taking a direct aim for New Jersey, New York, and parts of New England. So we'll see how that plays out. But today is, it's supposed to be a decent, good day, I guess. I don't know. In the 80s, high 70s, low 80s, depending on where you go in New England. Good. It's going to be cloudy, though. In any case, 603-835-3226. Welcome aboard. Welcome back to Liberty Lovers and Ecclesiastites all across the globe. As we hunker down here with the, well, we can't say hunker down. They hunker down in Texas and they hunker down in Florida for Hurricane Harvey and Irma, respectively. Have you noticed the lack of post-hurricane coverage in both Texas and in Florida? Does anybody notice that? Well, let me tell you why that is. The reason why you have, in fact, I got a story here. Where is that? I got a story here. I'll get back to the California thing in just a second. Dallas, no. No. I had a story here about Irma, evacuation nightmare. Here it is. Next time, some may not leave. And the reason is because after, well, according to a certain info babe who's male, and we can say that they're if they're pajama boy, feminized males, I guess you can call them info babes too, huh? Shall we say that they're transgendered info babes? Well, according to this AP piece, after a painful flight across several states to escape unpredictable Hurricane Irma, Suzanne Pallett says it's unlikely she would evacuate South Florida again, an attitude echoed by other evacuees that experts say could put them in danger when the next storm hits. A painful flight? I've never had a painful flight across several states, but okay. Now, what have I said about people overhyping the storm? They overhype it. It is the boy crying wolf. And now we have an AP story that is coming out and telling us exactly what I've already said many times before. That if they keep overhyping these things, and the hype doesn't even come close to being true, that people are going to stop paying attention. They're not going to listen. Now, here you have people already saying, well, after a 12-year major hurricane landfall, mainland USA major hurricane landfall drought, people were being told, oh, Harvey's going to be tremendous. As bad as it was, nowhere near as bad as they said it was going to be. Irma, well, that storm is going to be huge. It's going to hit every single state or every single city in Florida. The storm is going to be as big as the state itself. Didn't even come close. Didn't even touch really. Tampa got some rain. Miami got some rain, but didn't even come close to what what they said it was going to be. Sure, there was some flooding, and I'm glad a lot of people got out and paid attention and heeded the warning, but they overhyped the devastation of this thing so bad. Now, this is not to placate those who actually suffered damage and flooding and are still going through some of that right now in both Texas and in Florida. And they're going to have to deal with the after effects of the flood, of all the flooding for weeks and months to come. We all understand that. But we were expecting complete and total and utter Floridian devastation. Didn't even come close. In fact, the hurricane, even though the hurricane, roared through certain Caribbean islands at Category 5, didn't even come close to that kind of destructive force when it hit Florida. And they're trying to make all kinds of excuses as to why, Irma lost its power and the strength, and they were saddened. Actually, you listen to some of these people, and it sounded like they were actually saddened that Irma lost its power. And somehow Cuba acted as a magnet for the hurricane by hugging on and holding on to it longer, which means that instead of going straight up the middle of Florida like they projected it skirted the western coast. But people are not going to pay attention next time. Because how many times have we talked about, or they talked about, massive, powerful hurricanes, stronger than ever before, massive, wide-reaching, massive destruction everywhere, and it didn't happen. I'm not talking about death toll. We're just talking massive destruction. It didn't happen. Now, we've had a 12-year reprieve of this stuff, although they've tried saying, oh, this is a bad hurricane, it's going to be bad, and it doesn't even come close to hitting the United States. But, yeah, sure, over the 12 years, we still had, they were hoping, the left was hoping, so they could pin this on man-made global warming and man-made climate change. They were hoping for hurricanes. And now we get them, they get all excited about other hurricanes that are forming out there in the Atlantic. Oh, this could be a good one. Jose, we don't know where Jose is going to go. Jose could just spin out here. It could just keep going and going and spinning and gaining. It could be a newfound category 6 because of what it's doing and where it's going. And by the time it unleashes itself, it could be like a new category 6. This is what I'm hearing. And people are already turning a deaf ear to this thing. Why? Because Harvey and Irma, the first two major hurricanes to make U.S. mainland landfall in 12 years, were basically nowhere near what they said they were going to be. The boy crying wolf, the left may have cried wolf too many times. One too many times with these hurricanes. And I know you even got some of the big talking heads, even like Rush, were trying to placate a little bit of the overreach of these people. But there is no excuse for that. Once they say it, it really has to make some definite changes in order for them to back off of it. Well, okay, I get that, but you don't say that a hurricane drops from 185 miles per hour, major category 5 to a category 3, but still say, well, it looks like it's going to reform back up to category 5 by the time it hits, and it barely gets category 4? You can't do that to people. You can't keep hyping this kind of stuff that way. How about we be a little bit more honest? I get the cone. They can't move the cone all over the place a lot of times because once they set it, they want to make sure that people understand it could come their direction. But what you got to say is, look, you should get out for safety. But here's the cone effect. It could, with anywhere, if it hits over here, that means there's going to be less, destruction over on this part. If it hits over here, there's going to be less destruction on this part. But if it takes this central track, it could be massive destruction. And there's a good possibility they could go this track. So you should get out anyway. Now, and you got to see, the storm could die down, but it could also regain power. We don't know the complete dynamics. We don't know the dynamics. So what's wrong with telling people that? It could be category 3. It could be category 4. It could make landfall at massive category 5. Don't say this is the most powerful storm that we've ever seen, when it clearly is not. It is most likely going to make landfall at 180 to 185, maybe even 190 miles per hour, category 5. It's going to blow everything away. You're going to have a storm surge of 10 to 15 feet plus 30-foot waves on top of that. Look, I heard them say that kind of stuff. None of that came true. But they made it sound like, and made it in their language, that this is definitely what was going to happen. And now people are looking back and saying, most of that massive destruction crap didn't come true. I'm not going to go through the pain of evacuating again next time. Look at all those people that tried to get out. They got trapped. They ran out of gas. Gas prices went through the roof. Blah, water shortage, blah, blah, blah. We're not doing that again. And then that's when a real major hurricane hits. And not only do you get massive property damage, but you also get massive loss of life because people don't believe you anymore. Because instead of just telling the truth, you're out there trying to press and push forth an agenda that is a lie. It would be one thing if your agenda was actually truthful and mankind was the major and mostly only cause of global climate change. It's not the case. It's been proven to be a lie. But let's just say that it was truthful. Then maybe you would be accurate in this Armageddon type of atmosphere that you keep perpetuating every time there's a storm that approaches. Well, average everyday Americans, including some liberals, are getting tired of it. They're not believing you anymore. By the standards of today, what they said that global warming was going to do, Miami, most of New York City, Manhattan, the islands, coastal New England should be underwater. Nowhere near it. No, we keep hearing, well, you know, the oceans have risen 3 feet and this. Really? Where's that evidence? Well, look at all the erosion. Erosion happens naturally all the time. It has nothing to do with man. It's just that the ocean is pretty abrasive when it comes to erosion stuff. How do you think we got the Grand Canyon? Do people realize that if the Grand Canyon, if Mother Nature was starting to form the Grand Canyon today, that you have all these wonderful people out there on the left who would blame mankind for the formation of the Grand Canyon. Oh, it's our fault. I'm surprised they haven't blamed the Grand Canyon on mankind already.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Yes, love hurts. It can hurt emotionally, but more important, it can also hurt you physically. It can hurt you in a way which nobody who owns a hot tub and lives in California can afford to be unaware of. Yes, I'm talking about California hot tub rectal gonorrhea. This painful, incurable disease can make an enjoyable soak in a hot tub with family, friends, and dog into a literally unforgettable experience. If you catch California hot tub rectal gonorrhea, not only will you walk around feeling like you're about to pass a twisted sardine can lid, you'll also smell like a pile of burning tractor tires. So don't jump out of the frying pan and into the hot tub, because if you get California hot tub rectal gonorrhea, it'll really burn your ass.
This has been a public service message brought to you by the Citizens Against CHTRG Foundation. California hot tub rectal gonorrhea. We're not going to take it sitting down.
To the road to the House, taking over the House by the wonderful Democrats. We have the story here from the LA Times. Basically what they're saying, and let's just go through this a little bit. They're saying in 2018, the Democrats have settled on a key strategy for taking back the House. They're going to focus on the 23 districts nationwide where voters chose Republicans for Congress last year, but favored Democrat Hillary Clinton over Donald Trump for the presidency. obviously this is before Hillary went on her blame everybody but herself tour, where even Democrats are saying, shut the hell up already, Hillary, and go away. There are a lot of people who voted for her that feel the same. You lost. Go away. And stop taking this whole thing, well, I won the popular vote, as more and more evidence comes about that show that she probably didn't do that either with all the voter fraud. They keep adding up the numbers that they know. How do you nullify a vote when you know it's a fraud? You don't know which way they voted. I mean, we have a good idea, and but you don't know every single vote. So we have all this voter fraud that went on Hillary, that went Hillary Clinton's way, and she still lost the election. But 7 of those seats are in California, however, and Democrats must win at least a few of them to have a shot at regaining power in the House. Now, there are some reasons for Democrats to be optimistic, so says the Los Angeles Times. There's been a surge of enthusiasm among the anti-Trump resistance. There's been no. Do you not realize how small a percentage of the population of this anti-Trump resistance is? And a lot of times, you got these people that talk about what do they call them? The actors that go around from the crisis actors. They try to point out, well, this person at this crisis scene is the same person in this crisis scene in a totally different state in a totally different crisis. Remember those? Well, we know that there are paid resistance rally participants. They run around the country participating in these rallies. And it's hard. Well, one of the reasons I'm thinking why a lot of these people are wearing these stupid masks is because it's hard to tell if they're the same people. Can you imagine if they didn't wear a mask and we could see their faces, and they were in, you found out that they're the same people that were in Washington and Baltimore and L.A. and Berkeley and all over the country. They're just flying from one place to the next. Well, that is what's happening in reality. We know that a lot of these people are being paid to be antagonistic and to be protesters. They themselves even talk about this. Well, how come we didn't get paid for this? You promised, payment for this rally and for this protest, and we haven't gotten paid yet. Or you promised us this much and you only gave us this much. It's all over the place. But we're supposed to believe that the anti-resistance is growing. It's not growing. It really isn't. Democratic challengers who filed to run in California, that is no big deal. The number of people that you get to run for office, that's going to be your... Hey, if you say that there's a lot more conservatives that have filed to run for different offices across the country, you're going to say that there's a conservative pro-Trump movement on? No, they won't say that. Oh, hell no. It's all anti-Trump. Never Trumpers. Get a few never Trumpers who decided that they want to run, and all of a sudden there's a whole movement against the Trumper against Trump that's growing. It's not growing. He's not losing his base support. They tried again with this stupid DACA thing, and that's not what Trump said. And a lot of Trump supporters saw through that. Sure, some Trump supporters thought it was for real, but most saw through that crap and quickly chastised, like Ann Coulter. She was quickly chastised by her, reporting of Trump is going to be for DACA, he's gonna amnesty, and that's not what Trump said at all. And she was quickly chastised on Twitter. I saw the tweets. So Trump isn't losing his base support. In fact, he's gaining some support. His approval numbers keep going up, even though they keep the left keeps trying to drag those numbers down. They keep going up and up and up. So where is this mass movement against Trump? There isn't a mass movement against Trump. They just want to make you, you can't count California. California's an enigma. Oh, it's been an enigma for a very long period of time. Hell, they keep re-electing Nancy Pelosi, for God's sake. That's their hope.
You might be surprised to learn who has Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis. Nearly 1 in 200 Americans are suffering with the debilitating pain and constant disruption of these inflammatory bowel diseases, or IBD. Chances are you know someone with IBD. For example, your neighbor or coworker. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation was created to help patients cope and to find a cure. People with IBD can't wait. Won't you help someone you know? Visit www.escapethestall.com today.
Were you born from 1945 to 1965? People born during these years are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C. But most people don't know they are infected. So even if you try to eat right, exercise, and take care of yourself, you can still have hepatitis C, a serious liver disease that often has no symptoms. In fact, people can live with hepatitis C for decades without feeling or looking sick. But over time, hepatitis C can cause serious health problems, including liver damage, liver failure, or even liver cancer. Getting tested is the only way to know if you're infected with hepatitis C. That's why the CDC recommends everyone born from 1945 to 1965 get a blood test for hepatitis C. Treatments are available that can cure this disease. So talk to your doctor about getting tested. It could save your life. A message from the CDC.
Everyone is talking about healthcare these days. America spends twice that of other developed countries on our healthcare system, yet our health ranks near the bottom. How can we stop spending so much and getting so little? Shifting to a system based on primary care can help fix the problem. Patients with a primary care doctor live longer, healthier lives and are less likely to suffer from cancer, heart disease, or stroke. Primary care that is comprehensive and coordinated also saves money. Patients who have a primary care doctor spend 30% less on health care than patients who don't. States with a high number of primary care doctors have lower health care costs and higher quality care. Primary care can help make America healthy again. To learn more about the benefits of primary care, visit www.healthisprimary.org. This message is brought to you by America's Family Physicians.
It's been called shell shock, war neurosis, and battle fatigue. Today, we call it post-traumatic stress disorder, and it affects 1 out of every 5 warriors returning from battle in Iraq and Afghanistan. The Wounded Warrior Project offers comfort and support for warriors with PTSD and all other scars of war, whether those scars are visible or hidden. Find out how to help, because for warriors, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. Please visit woundedwarriorproject.org.
The Amazon's rainforest is being cut down so fast that by 2030, 55% of it could be completely wiped out. The Earth's forests can't speak up when they need help, but we can. Be the voice for those who have no voice. Visit worldwildlife.org.
There's a threat targeting America. One that's growing fast, but may still be hard to see. Lyme disease. Spread by tiny ticks, often smaller than the head of a pin. This dangerous disease is now more widespread than West Nile, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS combined. And if left untreated, it can lead to arthritis, facial paralysis, and even memory and concentration problems, often called brain fog. As the threat of Lyme disease grows to more than 300,000 projected cases each year, it's time for us to target Lyme disease. That means checking for ticks when you've been outside, even in your own backyard. It means seeing a doctor if you experience the symptoms of Lyme disease, which can include joint pain, flu-like symptoms, fever, fatigue, or sometimes a bullseye-shaped rash. Set your sights on stopping Lyme. Learn how you can target Lyme disease at targetlyme.org.
Dad, we need to talk.
Can we just enjoy the drive?
If you're not going to listen to me, who will we listen to?
Jeffrey. Ah! Marcia Gay Harden, what?
Eyes on the road, Dad.
What are you doing? What are you doing in my back seat? How did you get in here?
You're getting older.
Not that old.
Your brain's changing. It's natural.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Honey, I've got experience with this. Jeffrey, brain health is all about making the most of your brain as you age and helping to reduce some of the risks to your brain.
Really? Now that's interesting.
So, you'll talk to her about this, but not me. Marcia Gay Harden? Where did she go?
Learn what you can do to help keep your brain healthy at brainhealth.gov. She didn't say goodbye. I mean, I would have. Visit brainhealth.gov.
come under fire like this as well. So.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
So you have Rolling Stone is in trouble. Rolling Stone is in big heap of trouble, evidently. And they are definitely looking to try to salvage what's left of them. And they've put themselves up for sale, evidently. Yeah, here's a story. Rolling Stone wants the Counterculture Bible will be put up for sale. Yes, from a loft in San Francisco. In 1967, then 21-year-old Jan S. Wenner, W-E-N-N-E-R, started a magazine that would become the Counterculture Bible for baby boomers. Rolling Stone defined cool, cultivated literary icons, and produced star-making covers that were such coveted real estate that they inspired a song, but the headwinds buffeting the publishing industry and some costly strategic missteps have steadily taken a financial toll on Rolling Stone. And a botched story 3 years ago about an unproven gang rape at the University of Virginia badly bruised the magazine's journalistic reputation. Didn't badly bruise it, eliminated it. So after a half-century reign that propelled him into the realm of rock stars and celebrities who graced his covers, Mr. Wenner is putting his company's controlling stake in Rolling Stone up for sale, relinquishing his hold on a publication he has held since its founding. He said, I love my job. I've enjoyed it for a long time. Wenner, who's 71, is letting go, he added, was just a smart thing to do. The sale plans were devised by Wenner's 27-year-old son, Gus, who has aggressively pared down the assets of Rolling Stone's parent company, Wenner Media, in response to financial pressures due mainly to that bad story that they did. His son's 27, he's 71. He had him late in life, didn't he? But there he did. Well, they did it to themselves by doubling down on a story that after they realized it was all fake. It was fake news. They doubled down on fake stuff. They doubled down on fakeness. Can you believe this? And now we're supposed to feel bad because they're about to, they could be going under. Also today, finally this afternoon or this morning, Dallas schools to consider new monikers for buildings named after Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, and James Madison. Why would they reconsider things named after Is Madison a racist now too? This past Thursday, the Dallas Independent School District School Board took up the matter of renaming some of its schools, identifying 21 with some sort of Confederate tie. Benjamin Franklin has a Confederate tie? Okay. Superintendent Michael Hinojosa, Hinojosa, noted 4 schools were priority: the William L. Cabell School, the Stonewall Jackson School, the Robert E. Lee School, and the Albert Sidney Johnston School. The board seemed to agree with starting with the 4 schools recommended. What are they going to name them? The Barack Hussein Obama Elementary School? Well, they're not going to name them after George W. Bush. However, what the NBC5 report doesn't mention is a list of recommended schools, including the names of 3 prominent founding fathers like Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, and Benjamin Franklin. Okay, I kind of understand the Thomas Jefferson thing because, we've already had the whole issue with Thomas Jefferson. But Madison? And Franklin? Now, the Daily Caller reports that the Dallas Independent School District board member Dustin Marshall, at the behest of many of his constituents, posted on Facebook the full list of schools under consideration for new names. How about we, instead of just naming them, why don't we just say public school, like many school systems, Buffalo, New York comes to mind, public school number 1, public school number 2, 3, just give them a number. I don't know. Can numbers be racist? I don't think a number can be. Can a number be, odd number, even numbers, prime numbers, non-prime numbers? Can a number be racist? I don't know. I'm sure that the left will try to figure out some way to make a number, a school number, racist in some, Oh, and one more story here today. It appears, I meant to get into this a little bit earlier, but Wall Street Journal, as being reported in Mother Jones magazine, says that Trump has changed his mind about leaving the Paris Agreement, kind of, sort of, so don't get excited. Evidently, the Trump administration officials said Saturday that the U.S. wouldn't pull out of the Paris Agreement, offering to re-engage in the international deal to fight climate change, according to the European Union's top energy official. Does that make you dislike Trump? Because now he's looking to renegotiate. Are they reporting this out of fashion, out of proper fashion, like they did with the DACA thing? Well, I guess we'll have to wait and find out. I don't know yet. But remember, Trump is not a global warming supporter. But he doesn't really deny it either. So he's not, but he is about, anything that is going to happen has to be fair and good for the American economy and the American people. And the Paris thing was not good for the American economy or the American people. So he's kind of treading a thin line here. He's tight-roping it, as some people would say. Trump is tight-roping it. In any case, we are getting off to a running start here this week, but that sound means that we are currently out of time for the busy broadcast moments of today. But fear not, we've got a whole week ahead of us still. And we'll be back here tomorrow in 21 hours for the Tuesday edition of the Rod Eccles Show. So do me a favor, tell some friends to join you. Press the like button on the Spreaker site, the Spreaker channel, and let's spread the news about this wonderful program and wonderful me. Even if you don't like me, just tell people that I'm wonderful. They'll believe you anyway. Until tomorrow, my friends, all you ecclesiastites and liberty lovers, thanks for tuning in. I'm Rod Eccles. I'm out.
Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A shameless politician always plays her cards right. Got a crew for the fight on the airwaves. Lapdogs in the press keep their mouths tight. Cause a Clinton never needs to explain why it is what they done or with who. A real Clinton knows that they're entitled, and you don't get to know what they do.
What difference does it make?
For a Clinton, what's loaded in some fat Oppo file? A Clinton plays the victim for promotion. A Clinton kills it off with a smile. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A server full of secrets ain't no thing. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. Nothing ever hits with the sting.